What would you do if a guest in your own home staged a dangerous prank on your husband, got hurt, and then accused him of assault? In today's story, my choice to defend my husband might just cost me my relationship with my brother. My name is Chloe, I'm 25, and my husband, Liam, is 30. We're new homeowners, and we were excited when my brother Mark, who is 32, and his 31-year-old fiancée, Serafina, came to visit and stay with us for the first time. Now, to understand Serafina, you have to know a few things about her. She is a massive fan of Halloween and a self-proclaimed Disney adult. She has a very childlike side that can be charming, but she also gets completely absorbed by her interests, to the point where she can get carried away. I genuinely believe that's what happened here. She took things too far and couldn't handle the consequences. She, however, sees it as a deeply personal attack. This disagreement led to my husband kicking them out of our house. Ever since Serafina met Liam, she's made repeated comments that he gives off a dark vibe. She's constantly comparing him to intense, brooding characters from the fantasy and romance books she reads. It's not always a criticism. She usually frames them as compliments, though now I'm not so sure. Her entire assessment is based on his looks, his general quiet demeanor, and the single tattoo he has on his hand. One commenter on my story astutely pointed out that it feels like my brother's bride-to-be has a peculiar preoccupation with my husband, especially if the characters she compares him to are from romance novels. During this last visit, this fixation took a new turn. She mentioned how much she'd love to see someone like Liam get genuinely scared, because she just couldn't imagine him being startled or letting out a scream. From that point on, scaring my husband became her secret mission for the duration of her stay. None of us knew about it, not even my brother, Mark. Serafina saw it as a harmless, quirky mission. She was completely unaware that this childish goal would not only fail spectacularly but would also ignite a conflict that could shatter her future family. The disaster happened when Liam was returning from a run. It was dark, and Serafina decided to ambush him in our garage. She was in a full costume, a long, hooded robe and a golden, ornate masquerade mask that covered most of her face. Something that looked like it was from a high society secret party. She waited in the shadows and jump-scared him as he walked in, but Liam didn't let out the scream she was hoping for. His reaction was purely instinctual. Before his brain could process who or what was lunging at him in the dark, he reacted defensively, shoving the figure away from him and against the wall. She hit her head and let out a pained cry, and it was that sound that made him realize this probably wasn't a real intruder. He quickly flipped on the lights, saw the costumed figure slumped against the wall, and pulled off her mask. He told me later he was just utterly confused. Why would Serafina attack him like that? He immediately helped her inside, apologized profusely for his reaction, made her a cup of tea, and then called me. I was out with my brother, Mark, at the time. When Mark and I got home, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The first thing I did was ask Serafina if she was okay, and then I told her, "Your prank was so stupid. You could have gotten seriously hurt." I don't know if it was my comment that set her off or if she was just waiting for Mark to be there, but she immediately burst into tears. She began wailing about how Liam had used an excessive amount of force, claiming he must have known it was her just pulling a harmless prank. One person who read my story summed up the situation perfectly. There's no way he would have known in the moment that it was her, and I believe anyone would have a similar reaction. There's a direct cause-effect here, yet she's not accepting responsibility. The conversation devolved from there. Liam, who had remained calm and collected the entire time, looked Serafina straight in the eye. He asked her a single, direct question. "Are you implying I intentionally assaulted you?" The room went silent. She hesitated for a moment, then she looked at Mark, and then back at Liam, and said, "Yes." This was the moment that revealed Serafina's most dangerous flaw, a profound immaturity that prevented her from ever accepting responsibility. It was a trait that would ultimately cost her far more than just a place to stay for the night. The finality in Liam's voice was chilling. He didn't raise it. He didn't argue. He just responded to her accusation with 5 words, "Get out of my house." I jumped in, trying to smooth things over, suggesting everyone just needed to cool down before continuing the conversation, but Liam was adamant. He said if that's what she genuinely believed, then she was not welcome to stay another minute under his roof. Serafina chose to double down and stick to her accusation, and in that moment, I sided with my husband. My brother, Mark, just stood there, looking at me, expecting me to handle it, to persuade Liam to back down. He never once tried to talk sense into his own fiancée, so they had to pack their bags and leave. Now, Mark is furious with me. He thinks I should have done more damage control. He believes I should have pushed my husband to apologize more, to placate Serafina, and that if I had just helped Liam fold, this whole thing would have blown over. I find that incredibly unfair. Why should I have taken her side over my own husband's, especially when she was so clearly in the wrong, first for the prank and then for accusing him of wanting to hurt her? Mark's silence in that crucial moment spoke volumes. He looked to me to placate his fiancée, revealing a pattern of conflict avoidance that would force me to make a choice he was too weak to make himself. He told me I was being short-sighted and needed to think about their upcoming wedding, but I think he's the one who needs to get his fiancée to apologize to my husband. I stood by my partner, who was insulted and then falsely accused in his own home, and now I'm considering not even attending the wedding. This incident has shown me that you can't build a future with someone who refuses to take responsibility for their actions. True loyalty means defending your partner from baseless accusations, even when it creates a rift in your own family. So, I leave it to you. Do you think I was wrong for siding with my husband? And if you were in my shoes, would you still go to that wedding?